Okay, let's pay our homage to the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the exalted one, the worthy one, the perfectly enlightened one. Buddham saranam gacchami. Dhammam saranam gacchami. Sangham saranam gacchami. I go to the Buddha for refuge. I go to the Dhamma for refuge. I go to the Sangha for refuge. Dutiyampi Buddham saranam gacchami. Dutiyampi Dhammam saranam gacchami. Dutiyampi Sangham saranam gacchami. A second time I go to the Buddha for refuge. A second time I go to the Dhamma for refuge. A second time I go to the Sangha for refuge. Tatiyampi Buddham saranam gacchami. Tatiyampi Dhammam saranam gacchami. Tatiyampi Sangham saranam gacchami. A third time I go to the Buddha for refuge. A third time I go to the Dhamma for refuge. A third time I go to the Sangha for refuge. Panchasila, the 5 precepts. Phanatipata veramani Sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Adinnādāna veramani Sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Kāmesu micchācārā veramani Sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Musāvādā veramani Sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Surāmeraya majjapamā daṭṭhāna veramani Sikkhapadang samadhiyami. I undertake the training role to abstain from taking life. I undertake the training role to abstain from stealing. I undertake the training role to abstain from sexual misconduct. I undertake the training role to abstain from false speech. I undertake the training role to abstain from intoxicating drinks and drugs causing heedlessness. Buddha Vandana, homage to the Supreme Buddha. Itipiso bhagavā araham samma sambuddho viñjācarana sampanno sugato lokavido anuttaro purisa dhammasārati Sattādeva manussānam buddho bhagavāti. Such indeed is the exalted one, worthy, perfectly enlightened, endowed with knowledge and conduct, knower of the world, supreme trainer of persons to be tamed, teacher of gods and men, enlightened and exalted. Dhammavandana, homage to the teachings of the Buddha. Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Sandintiko Akaliko Ehi Pansiko Opanaiko Panchantang Veditambo Vinyuhiti. Well expounded is the Dhamma by the Exalted One, directly visible, immediately effective, calling one to come and see, leading onwards to be personally realized by the wise. Sangha Vandana, homage to the disciples of the Buddha. Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Ujupatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Nyaya Patipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Samiche Patipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Yadidan Chantare Purisa Yugani Atta Purisa Pungalam Esa Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Ahuneyo Pahuneyo Dakkeneyo Anjali Karaniyo Anuntarang Punyakentam Lokan Sati. The order of the Exalted One's disciples is practicing well. The order of the Exalted One's disciples is practicing rightly. The order of the Exalted One's disciples is practicing properly. That is, the purest of persons, the 8 kinds of individuals. This order of the Exalted One's disciples, worthy of offerings and hospitality, worthy of gifts and salutation, supreme field of merit for the world. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. The nature of our mind is going here and there. That is the nature of the mind. When we meditate, we hope to focus on our mind, particular object, which is a wholesome object. Then our mind is very calm and quiet, and we can concentrate our mind when we focus our mind in a particular object. Here, practicing loving kind meditation, we do that thing. And first, let's we bless our own life, and also let's we bless all of other people who are around us. With that intention, you concentrate on your mind with loving kind meditation. May I be well, happy and peaceful. May I free from suffering. May I free from illness. May no harm come to me. May no difficulties come to me. May no problems come to me. May I always meet with success. May I also have patience, courage, understanding and determination to meet and overcome the inevitable difficulties, problems and failures in my life. May I attain final bliss of liberation. May I be well, happy and peaceful. May I free from suffering. May I free from illness. May I free from stress. May no harm come to me. May no problems come to me. May no difficulties come to me. May I always meet with success. May I also have patience, courage, understanding and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties, problems and failures in my life. May I attain final bliss of liberation. May I be well, happy and peaceful. May I free from suffering. May I free from illness. May I free from stress. May no harm come to me. May no difficulties come to me. May no problems come to me. May I always meet with success. May I also have patience, courage, understanding and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties, problems and failures in my life. May I attain final bliss of liberation. If I like happiness, success and peace in my life, all other beings also like success, happiness in their life. I wish all of them. May all beings be well, happy and peaceful. May all beings free from suffering. May all beings free from illness. May all beings free from stress. May no harm come to them. May no difficulties come to them. May no problems come to them. May they always meet with success. May they also have patience, courage, understanding and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties, problems and failures in their life. May all beings attain final bliss of liberation. If I like happiness, success and happiness in my life, all other beings like their happiness, success, peace in their life. Therefore, I wish all of them. May all beings be well, happy and peaceful. May all beings free from suffering. May all beings free from illness. May all beings free from stress. May no harm come to them. May no difficulties come to them. May no problems come to them. May they always meet with success. May they also have patience, courage, understanding and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties, problems and failures in their lives. May they attain final bliss of liberation. If I like happiness, success, peace and happiness in my life, all other beings also like their happiness, success, happiness in their lives. Therefore, I wish all of them. May all beings who are living in the world be well, happy and peaceful. May they free from suffering. May they free from illness. May they free from stress. May no harm come to them. May no problems come to them. May no difficulties come to them. May they also meet with success. May they also have patience, courage, understanding and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties, problems and failures in their lives. May they attain final bliss of liberation. If I like happiness, success and peace in my life, other beings also like their happiness, success and happiness in their lives. Therefore, I wish all of them. May all living beings be well, happy and peaceful. May they free from suffering. May they free from illness. May they free from stress. May no harm come to them. May no problems come to them. May no difficulties come to them. May they always meet with success. May they also have patience, courage, understanding and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties, problems and failures in their lives. May all living beings attain final bliss of liberation. Samanta Cakkavalesu Atra Gaccantu Devata Saddammang Munirajassa Sunantu Sagga Mokkadang Dhammasavana Kalo Ayan Badanta Dhammasavana Kalo Ayan Badanta Dhammasavana Kalo Ayan Badanta Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Okay, dear Dhamma friends, all of you are warmly welcome. And with blessing all of you, today I am going to start our discussion. And here I have prepared the handout. You can read it, and actually when you read that article you can understand actually the teachings that I have given here. These are the things that already we have studied, learned. But again and again we discuss these things for memory. When we discuss something again and again, it results in strong memory. That is why we discuss. That is very important. You know, one day the Supreme Buddha told the people that I tell to the world only thing, only one. I preach to the world only one thing. I explain to the world the suffering and the cessation of suffering. On the other hand, he has explained how is the happiness and what is the path of happiness. Buddha explained, he preached to the world only two things. What they are? The suffering and the overcoming of suffering, or getting rid of suffering. On the other hand, he has explained the happiness and how we get the happiness, getting happiness. These only two things that Buddha has explained to the world. Day by day, when we listen in Buddha's message, our suffering should decrease, and also our happiness gradually should be increased. That is the nature of the listening and practicing of the Buddhism, of Buddha's message. Here I have given you some short forms, the signs that already we have studied some doctrines and teachings in Buddhism. All of them are given here in short. Can you understand? As soon as you read this article, you can understand what we discussed, what we studied. And the bottom line of life, or the main purpose of our life, everything that we do in the name of happiness. We studied, we do some jobs, we do some sort of activities in the name of happiness. Actually, the Lord Buddha explained to the world, we do some things in the name of happiness, but we are not going on the way of happiness. We are going on the opposite side in the name of happiness. That is why he had to told to the world what is the real happiness. Here I have given you another thing, best friend. Don't forget your best friend. What is the best friend? Mindfulness or awareness. What are our 5 fingers? Don't lose your 5 fingers. Confidence, energy, mindfulness, concentration, wisdom. Those are our 5 fingers. Day by day, you paint your fingers with these colors. There are 5 colors for your fingers. When you wash your hands, when you color your hands and fingers, nails, you have to remember these 5 things. What are those 5 things? Confidence, energy, mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom. The brain is the very important thing in our life. Without brain we can't live. Here I have given an example as brain, the knowledge. The knowledge can be divided into 2. The first thing is about knowledge, the understanding of karmic force. Karmic force means, again and again I have explained you what is the nature of the karmic force. Cause and effect. Cause and effect. Or good deeds bring happiness, bad deeds bring suffering. That is the nature of the karmic force. Very good. Then what is the next part of the knowledge? The knowledge of the dependent origination. That is the very important thing. On the other hand, the knowledge of impermanence. Every moment our experience arises and also our experience disappears or overcomes. That is the nature of the dependent origination. Nothing comes here from previous experience. Nothing goes to the future from the present. At the moment the experience arises and also at the moment the experience disappears. That is the nature of the impermanence. That is the nature of the dependent origination, which is the very important teaching in Buddhism. It is the unique. That is the universal truth that Buddhism explained. Heart. In our brain we should have knowledge, and in our heart we should have loving kindness or loving friendliness. We should have both, not only one thing. If you have only heart, you may cry. You will have good heart. Because of no brain, you may do some bad, false things. You may some foolish. Yeah. That is why we should have not only heart but also brain. The Lord Buddha is the most important example. The Lord Buddha is the best example of loving kindness and wisdom. He is not only the best example of kindness, he is the best example of wisdom. Wisdom too. That is why we respect him. He had a real loving kindness to the world, but he never cried. He never cried because of intelligence, because of wisdom. He helped to the world. He preached his doctrines which he explained, which he discovered. He explained the world reality to the world. He understood the suffering of the people. He slept only 2 hours for a day. Other 4 hours he declared to the people because of kindness. He had not only kindness but also wisdom. That is why he didn't cry. In the heart we should have loving friendliness or loving kindness. Enemies. We have enemies. We should understand our real enemies. Those are not the physical enemies, material. We can see them materially. But if we are intelligent, we can understand these real enemies in our life. If something disturbs our happiness, that is our enemy. It is our enemy. He is our enemy. We should be careful from the enemies. Therefore, we have to understand what is the real enemies. Who are the real enemies in our life?
Desire, hatred, delusion.
Yeah, desire, hatred, delusion. There are a lot of enemies. All of them can be included into 3. We can classify them again and again, up to 1,500. But all of them are included into 3. That is why it is said in Buddhism, 3 unwholesome roots. 3 unwholesome roots. These 3 things. Akusala moola. In Buddha's word, it is said akusala moola. Moola. In Buddha's language. In Sinhala language, moola. Moola, both are same. According to Buddha's words, we say these 3 things as Trivida Akusala Moola, 3 unwholesome roots or stems. Can you understand what I say? Yeah. Then, what are our real enemies? Desire, hatred and delusion. Those are the defilements or unwholesome deeds. And also we have friends too, not only enemies. We can defeat the enemies and we can beat the friends. If we are intelligent, if we have real knowledge, we can identify real enemies and we can defeat enemies and we can win the good friends, real good friends. Isn't? Yeah, who are the friends? Generosity, morality and meditation. Those are our real friends. Always we should try to escape or reduce or overcome enemies and develop, cultivate, associate good friends. Who are the good friends? Generosity, morality and meditation. According to Buddhism, these are the 3 wholesome roots. Trivida Kusala Moola. 3 wholesome roots. Enemies are 3 unwholesome roots. Friends are 3 wholesome roots. Very good. Then the friends help us to be happy. Very good. Enemies disturb our happiness and they help us to be suffering or unhappy. Then again we are going to discuss the real mirror. Mirror in Dhamma, mirror of Dhamma. What is the mirror of Dhamma? Loving kindness or loving friendliness, honesty and wisdom. Don't forget your mirror. Keep it in your bag always. And again, when you get mirror into your hand, don't forget this real mirror. In your mirror, you have to write down. I have told you to write down these 3 things in your mirror. What they are? Loving kindness, honesty, wisdom. Day by day, you should go forward with these 3 parts of the mirror. Isn't? Yeah. Day by day, if you are growing up towards these 3 things, it means you are on the way of happiness. You can see the results yourself. You should not have a guarantee from other person. This is the real guarantee by yourself. Isn't? Yeah. When we teach something good things in the world, especially when we learn something, if we study something from Buddhism, it means we are rich in knowledge and we are rich in good human values. And also the spirit. The spirit of Buddhism, not only Actually, it doesn't belong to the Buddhism too. This is the world reality. The spirit that Buddhism says, the dependent origination. That is very important, cause and effect. There is another thing, legs and hands. First, we should stand up with 2 legs. Like legs, there are 2 steps. Association with a good friend and listening to the Buddha's message from that person. That is like our legs. If we have legs, then our hands are strong. Like hands, we should have another 2 things, wise reflection and practice. We should be intelligent to understand who is the real friend who explains the world reality. Buddhism always explains that these 4 things are very, very important for our life. Not only 1 thing, but all 4 things. The first thing is we should have a good friend. It may be a physical person, it may be a website or CD or book. And if a person explains these things, actually that person is the real friend, even though he doesn't smile with us. Buddhism says very clearly, when you live in a place, if you have no real friend, even though you have a lot of facilities there, don't stay there 1 second. You have to leave that place. He explained it to the monks, but it is very important. If you have a real person to associate, even though you have a lot of facilities, you try to live in that place with that person.
Means the Dhamma?
Not Dhamma, the person, a very good friend who explains Dhamma.
Okay.
Yeah. We should have not only a good friend, but he should know that reality or teaching, and also he should explain us that reality. Both are very important. On the other hand, we should be intelligent to understand who is the real person that who explains that world reality to us. We also should be intelligent. If we are not intelligent, we can't understand even though that person are with us. There is a good example in the Buddha's period. One day, a high priest was begging food with his student. His students also are a monk, but he ordained at the old age. One day, that high priest was going for begging foods on the road. At that moment, his students asked that high priest, Reverend Sir, are there enlightened persons in the world? That student's disciple asked his high priest, Bhante, Reverend Sir, are there enlightened persons in the world? Are there arhantas in the world? Are there spiritual persons in the world? At that moment, that high priest told that person, yes, there are, but it is unable to understand. It is difficult to understand even though some persons follow that person with a ball on his hand. It is very difficult to understand. What does he say?
You have to know to recognize, you have to know enough to recognize the person.
Yeah, that high priest told that person, at sometimes there are some good friends, there are some enlightened persons in the world, and other persons is going with him, following that persons on the way, same way, but it is unable to understand. It is very difficult to understand. What does he say?
He said he's the one and he doesn't know, he's the enlightened one.
Yeah, already that high priest is an enlightened one. That is why he explained. Even though you are going with that enlightened person, if you are not intelligent, you can't understand. But that person couldn't understand what he says.
So that's like discernment, the ability to discern.
Sorry?
Discernment, the ability to discern.
Yeah. It is very difficult to understand. If we are going to understand a person who is enlightened, we also should be intelligent. We should know a lot of teachings in Buddhism.
So that's all he answered? That's all he said? The enlightened one who is going with the other priest, the monk. But if he said, he only said that you can recognize, that's all his answer was?
Yeah, actually the high priest told that person, it is difficult to understand. And understanding of a real person, understanding of enlightened person is difficult. Although you are following on the same way with that person, it is difficult to understand. He said on the other hand, in the another way, that already that person is an enlightened person. But although that person explained that thing, that student couldn't understand what he said because of ignorance.
I was going to say because he's not yet intelligent.
Yeah. That is why I told you that as listeners, you also should be intelligent. And actually Buddhism says very clearly, when we listening something from a person, we should not investigate his own qualities. We should understand what he says. We should believe in his teachings. If a person can explain a real meaning of Dhamma, even though that person hasn't already enlightened, if he says the real teaching, we can understand and we can attain that step. It is very important. If a person explains the real message of the Buddha, even though he has no results, if he explains the real thing, we can listen in and we can practice it. That is why there were some persons who enlightened before the speaker enlightened. There are a lot of incidents in the Buddha's period. There are some lay persons like you, while offering foods and facilities for the monks, they listen in their message. And at some times the lay persons attain enlightenment before that monk, because they were intelligent. Yeah. Actually at some times you may develop your mind than I. Yeah. If you are more intelligent, you may attain the higher spiritual level before me. Yeah, that is why we should, listeners also should be intelligent. That is very important. Here, I have given you 4 things. Actually, these 4 things are given in many discourses in Tripitaka, in Buddhism. That is why I have given here these 4 things. The first thing is the association with a good friend. And second one is, we should not only associate that person, but we should ask his message. You know, when there was a monk in Buddha's period, his name was Assaji. You know Assaji? There were 5 monks who enlightened first in Buddha's disciples. Yeah, those are the 5 monks who were the 5 monks who attained enlightenment first.
After Buddha.
After Buddha.
After and from Buddha?
After the Lord Buddha enlightened, first he explained his teachings those 5 persons. Yeah, one of them is Assaji. Kondanya, Vappa, Baddiya, Mahana, Assaji. Those are the persons. One of them is Assaji. Assaji, one day he was going on the way. At that moment, there was an intelligent young guy who is Sariputta. Sariputta saw that Assaji, Bhante Assaji. Then Sariputta asked that person, what is the teachings, what is the doctrines that you practice? Please tell me. He asked respectfully, please, your senses are very pleasant. Your behavior is very calm and quiet. I believe that you have some sort of spiritual power. And I believe that you have practiced some sort of special teachings. Please explain me what you practice. At that moment, that Assaji, Reverend Assaji explained very few things in Buddhism, but it is spiritual, spirit in Buddhism, which is the dependent origination. As soon as Sariputta listening that message, he could attain the first step of enlightenment. It says, no, Sotapanna, first step. There are 4 steps. He could attain first step. Because...
Water enterer?
Sorry?
Stream enterer.
Yeah. Yeah. First step. That is why we should know, we should have not only friend, not only spiritual friend, good friend, but we should ask, we should listen in his message, what he practiced. At sometimes we can see there are some persons, they can understand, they can associate some spiritual, some good friend, virtuous persons, but they listen in their message. That is why we should have not only good friend, but also we should be ready to listen in his message, what he practiced already. That is the second step, listening that message. And not only listening, but when we listen in that message, we should be intelligent, we should have wise reflection, we should have good attention what he says. Mostly the Buddha's disciples who has real knowledge, they explain Buddha's message gradually, step by step, little by little, from the beginning to end. You should be intelligent to understand the order. That order is very important. When the Lord Buddha explained the world reality, he had an order. He had an order. What is the order? Order means when he explained the Dhamma, he starts from the surface level. Yeah. Dana Kata, Sila Kata, Sagga Kata. Dana Kata means the result of generosity. Sila Kata means the result of morality. And Sagga Kata means the nature of the heaven, the nature of the divine persons.
What is it? Sangha? What kata?
Sagga Kata.
Sangha.
Sagga Kata. Sagga means heaven. The stories Sangha and Sagga are both different. Sangha means the monks, disciples, Sangha. Sagga means the heaven. Then Buddha had an aura when he explained the world reality. He had some sort of aura. Gradually, he goes to the deep, step by step. And therefore, when you listen in his message, you should have wise investigation, wise reflection, and good attention. If you have no attention, even though you listening very systematic order teachings, you can understand if you have no investigation.
So good, so good.
And fourth one is practice. Not only reflection, but we have to practice it in our day-to-day life. How we practice it?
Mindfulness.
Mindfulness. In short, we can say it is mindfulness. When we practice it, practicing of the Buddha's message can be divided into three. It says Trivida Shiksha. Trivida Shiksha means Sila, Samadhi, Panya. Sila means morality or discipline. Samadhi means concentration. And Panya means wisdom. According to these three steps, we have to practice this again and again. First step is that we should have good discipline in our verbal and our behavior. Verbally and behaviorally, you should have good discipline before you practice mindfulness. Before you are going to practice concentration meditation, if you have good discipline, it is very easy to get the result of concentration. If always we are talking, we are telling rubbish, actually it is very difficult to concentrate. That is why we should have good discipline. Actually, as soon as we have the right understanding, Eightfold Path, Noble Eightfold Path, already you have heard it. You have listened in it. There are 8 steps in Eightfold Path. The first one is right understanding, right view, correct view. If you have correct vision, as soon as you get the correct vision, the second step is the Samma Sankappa. You have good intention, good thoughts, and also Samma Vacha, then your words are correct. You are very careful. You manage your words. Buddha explained very clearly, when you speak something, you reflect whether it is good or bad again and again. Before you say something, please reflect, please think it again and again whether it is good or bad. That is very important. As soon as we have real understanding, we are very careful about our behavior and speech. That is very important.
I don't know whether we think again and again. At least one again.
No, I think
At least
at the
in our
beginning-
tradition, in our country tradition, when you are angry, before you tell or do something,
Get quiet.
you count numbers from 1 to 10.
And even here, like my mother used to say, always think before you speak.
Think,
Mhm.
that's right.
Before you speak.
Yeah, very good.
Once it's
Yeah.
out of your mouth, it's out.
In our tradition,
Retry.
in our එකේ නම් 10ට ගණන් කරන්න. Yeah. In our tradition, in our country, people believe that if you are angry, if you are with troubles, if your mind is very complex, please count the numbers from 1 to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you are calm, you are quiet, your stress decrease.
Take a deep breath.
Yeah. That is very important. Here, I have given you the short note about the main doctrines in Buddhism. Have any problem, you can ask. You can ask. If you have any problem, you can ask. Actually, again and again, we have to listen in this message. And also, we have to practice it again and again in our life.
Dhammagaru, I think just from observing life and people's behavior, I don't think that many people believe in the karmic law. I think some people that do bad things, I don't think they think that bad things will come back to them in their life. Some people do, but I think these very, very bad people, they think that they can do anything to anybody. And I don't think that's true. I do believe in the karmic law that if you give good will come back.
Actually, we can correct all people who are around us, but we can do only thing. We can be corrected by ourselves.
However, I'd like to add, those people who say bad things, and because they are not aware that they are bad, see, they don't have the right view. The reason why they say those bad things is because they don't have the right view. And so, if you don't have the right view and you're doing it without knowing whether it's bad, it's not bad for them because they are ignorant. They say things because they don't know. So how can it be bad for them? Because they don't know that it's bad. The people who know.
On the other hand, although they don't believe the karmic force, when they do some bad deeds, when they face some problems, they can understand themselves. When some people have to understand that reality when they are in the prison. When they do some bad deeds, they can't understand. But when they are in the prison,
quiet and
they can understand what they did.
That's why they come out very reformed.
Even though they don't go to the prison, but end of their life, especially in the old age, they realize their all activities, what they did.
So they
like a recorder.
They finally got wise.
Actually, finally they understood all things, but the time goes. The time went fast.
We are sorry for that.
That is why we have a good chance. We have a good chance. Before we become that position, that our old age, if a person can understand this reality, that is very important. We can get the result of our life because of our understanding. That is very important. Therefore, the main thing is we should understand that we can correct all people. We can't cover all the world, but we can cover our own legs on using shoes. First we should understand the activities in our life. Actually, when we do some good deeds in our life, we can be happy when we think our activities, our previous activities. We can be happy when we think, I have helped others, I have done these good deeds. When you think about your activities in previous activities, then you can be happy. I think already you have a lot of things to think can be happy. About your education, you have helped the children for the education. When you think those activities that already you have done, it causes to you happiness. That is why actually all things, we do these all things in the name of happiness. When I offer something to you, you may appreciate me, but more advantage of the offering of these things, I can be happy myself, even though you don't appreciate me. When I think my correct activities, I can be happy myself, even though other persons don't appreciate me. That is why we have to do these things. On the other hand, if we know the bad results of our bad activities, we try to not to do bad deeds in our life. When we do some bad deeds, it means our mind is polluted. Our mind is not purified. At sometimes we have a lot of facilities. At sometimes we have a lot of education. But if our mind is polluted, if our mind is wicked with hatred or desire or delusion, it means we have no happiness.
There are many people who are educated and, as you say, have polluted minds.
Yeah.
Have bad behavior.
Yeah. There are some people who have no much money or no lot of education. If they have control their own mind, even though they have no lot of education, they can be happy.
Right.
Yeah, because of their purified mind.
Right.
That is why always we should consider, we should believe in our mind situation. The main reason that we suffer or not our mind situation. If we keep our mind always pleasant and calm, it means we are rich in merit and we are rich in happiness.
Dhammagaru, when you have someone in your life that is highly educated, but as you say, have a polluted mind, they present bad behavior at different times, how do you deal with a person like that?
Please say again, please say again.
How do you deal with a person like that who has, when you're in a situation that perhaps you're doing business with this person, and at different times their behavior is not right, it's not good. So you're involved in the relationship, business relationship, and there are certain things that you would like to accomplish. Do you avoid everything and go on in a different direction without this person? Do you make this person aware that their behavior is not good? What do you do?
Yeah, actually we can do some things in several steps. And the first thing is, according to Buddhism, we should consider that person as our very close relative, even though that person is very lone, a very far person from our relationship. But if we consider that person our own relative, then we have some sort of kindness about that person. Many people do some bad activities because of ignorance. If we have real understanding, they never do bad deeds. Therefore, we can say something to them about the results, their activities. That is the first step. And also, at some times, they don't believe our words. But we should not be fed up that we have say them again and again. And at some times, even the Lord Buddha also couldn't correct some people. You have heard about Devadatta. Even the Lord Buddha couldn't correct that person. But at that time, we should not pollute our mind because of others' mistakes. We should try to correct them. We should try to help them. But always we should consider our own mind. We should not break our concentration, our balance in mind. Yeah, that is the main thing. You know, in counseling it is said very clearly, when you are going to advise or counseling others, you don't burn out yourself. That is the first step of counseling. Yeah, at sometimes we can see there are some people, later they can understand, they may understand their own activities and they may be corrected themselves. Later. They have to take some time to it. But later, they will be better than we. Yeah, because of their understanding. Actually, when we advise other people, we also should increase our qualities. You know, as we should be clever. We should be clever. We should be proficient. That Buddhism says, especially Buddhism, it says in Buddhism, especially the discourse of metta, karani metta discourse. Sakko ujuja sujuja. Sakko means you should be skillful. You should have skill. What is the skill? As soon as you look at a person, you should be intelligent. You should be smart. That understand that person is not only the physical body, but the mind. When we say something, a person, when we associate a person, that person is not only his body, physical body, but also mind. Mind and body are interrelated. If he or she has no mind, we don't say that person's name. We say that dead body. That as soon as you look at a person, if you are intelligent to understand that is not only the physical body, but also his mind occurs in this moment. Both are together. If we are skillful, if we are proficient, it means we can understand. If we have this knowledge, we have no anger when other person has mistake. This is not the deep understanding. This is the first step. But what is the deep understanding of a person, about a person? The surface level, as soon as we look at a person, especially we have some problems with the human beings, with the living people. That is why as soon as we look at a person, we should have an ability to analyze and divide that person as mind and body. On the other hand, gradually we are going to deep level. What is the second step? Not only mind and body, but also there are 5 aggregates, like matter, feelings, perception, mental formation, and consciousness. 5 aggregates are together. When we look at a person who is living, that person has 5 things, 5 aggregates. And also, what is the deepest level, the understanding of a person? As soon as look at a person outside, we should have an ability to understand, although there is an outside thing, outside person, we get that idea in our mind. There is some sort of process in our mind at the moment. That is why we understand that person. 5 aggregates arise in my mind, not only outside. For example, in our young age, you can understand, there is a good example. Then, when we were at home, if it was a doorbell, you know doorbell? When somebody rings doorbell, in the very young age, we ran to the bell. We didn't go to the door at the very young age. You know, our parents went to the door. We ran to the bell, near the bell. As soon as person rings, ran it. That is the first step. In the first step, we classify, we look at outside. We classify, we divide the person as mind and body and 5 aggregates. We classify, we divide outside. Like a very young child is running to the bell when it rings. But when we are growing up with the age, like the parents or elders, they went to the door when bell rings. Here, we also should be like that. As soon as you look at a person, this is the mirror of your mind. If here there is some mistakes, the mistakes is not here. Mistakes is inside. Yeah. Yeah. We go to the we go to the door when it bell rings. When the bell rings, we go to the door. We don't go to the near the yeah. Yeah, Buddhism, as soon as you look at something, as soon as you listening something, it means that is your reflection of your mind. Yeah. That is why Buddha says very clearly, Nate kama yani chitrani loke. There are beautiful things in the world as matters. There are sweet sounds in the world, but those are not the wrong thing. Those are not the fault. The fault is in our mind, our misconcept, our misunderstanding. If we can correct your mind, nobody can change you.
It's all in the mind. It's mind over matter.
Yeah, mind also not a certain thing. It also, every moment, it also arises and disappears. You don't think mind is as certain. Mind also impermanence. It also, every moment, it arises and disappears. Yeah. It is also impermanent. Yeah, here, gradually, step by step, when you are growing up with your knowledge, you should have this knowledge. Then, gradually, you are not going to blame others, outside people. If you are worried with the people or with the scenes that you see, it is not the wrong thing of outside. It is the fault of your mind, your view, your understanding, your vision. If we can correct our vision, understanding, even though environment is very complex and trouble, we can live without trouble, without problems, without suffering. Buddhism guides to that position.
That's what the Dhammapada says, right? Mano Pubbha.
Yeah. Mano Pubbangama Dhamma. Mind is the forerunner. Mind is chief. All states, whether evil and good. Then, that is why step by step we have to practice it. The main thing, the field of the practicing of Buddhism is mindfulness. Then, as practice, again and again, we should try to keep our mind in a particular object with a wholesome object. At least 5 minutes. Try to keep your mind on meditation. At least loving kind meditation, it is enough at the very beginning. Try to increase it little by little. Try to add 1 minute for a day. Start it with 1 minute. Do it continuously. Don't break it. Doing meditation continuously is more important than doing a lot of time, than doing a long period. Once or twice for a month. If you do meditation at least 1 minute for a day, try to do it at least 1 month continuously. That is very important. With the concentration, you should try to reflect, investigate this world reality again and again. It is said insight meditation. That is very important. Buddhism always explains the 2 meditation. One part of the meditation is concentration meditation. Concentration meditation means focusing our mind particular object like breathing meditation, loving kind meditation. Again and again we focus our mind particular wholesome object. And with the pleasant mind, we should try to reflect the world reality as dependent origination, like impermanence, we reflect again and again that world reality with the pleasant, concentrated mind. It is said insight meditation or vipassana bhavana. Samatha bhavana, concentration meditation, vipassana bhavana, insight meditation. Meditation is divided into two: concentration meditation and insight meditation. Concentration meditation, keeping your mind calm and quiet with long time with the correct or pure thought. Insight meditation means reflecting the world reality as impermanence. Then again and again you practice this reality, the teachings. It means you are strong with this understanding. Then this understanding is going to permanent in your life. As soon as you look at something, as soon as you listening something, as soon as you taste something, as soon as you smell something, as soon as you touch something, you have this knowledge. First, you reflect the thing about the nature of the thing of outside, but finally, you are clever to catch it in your mind. Like the elders go to the door when the bell rings.
So it's really the concentration, meditation comes first and then the insight meditation. So insight meditation is an advanced meditation compared to concentration meditation, because you are now not only concentrating but you are reflecting on independent origination and so more inner, right? It's more advanced.
Yeah, insight meditation is more advanced, as you mentioned. But there are some people in the world who practice this in their previous lives. When a person comes to the Buddha, the Lord Buddha understands how much that person has practiced this world reality in his previous lives. According to their intelligence, at some times, Buddha has explained some persons directly insight meditation, dependent origination. As soon as they listen in this insight meditation or about dependent origination, they directly reflect their mind on insight meditation.
So, can a person jump to the second one, not doing the first one?
Yes, there are two ways in Buddhism. Samatha Pubbangama Vipassana. It means there are some insight meditation which is founded in concentration meditation. That is the one way. There is another way. Vipassana Pubbangama Samatha. It means there is a meditation, that insight meditation, concentration meditation founded in insight meditation. With practicing insight meditation, some persons are able to develop concentration through insight meditation, because they have practiced it in their previous lives. You know, there was a special monk. He was not a special monk. He spent his life as a lay person. As soon as he listened Buddha's message, I have told you that his name, Bahya Daruchirya. Bahya he's a very intelligent person. He has cultivated, he has developed his mind in the previous lives a lot. Buddha understood, as soon as he came to Buddha understood his knowledge, his intelligence. That is why the Lord Buddha explained that person directly dependent origination. When you look at something, at the moment you try to that as impermanence. As soon as he listening to that message, he could understand the reality. Not only he understood, but also he enlightened quickly. Buddha didn't preach that person concentration meditation. The Lord Buddha didn't explain his discipline or morality. There are 3 steps: Sila, Samadhi, Panya, morality, concentration, and wisdom. But this is the gradual order.
Yeah.
This is the gradual order. But there are special persons in the world. For that persons, the Lord Buddha explained directly the wisdom or impermanence or the nature of the dependent origination. As soon as they listening to that message, they were clever to understand because of their higher level intelligence.
I have a question. If we are just in the now, in the moment, and we cannot bring anything from the past into the moment, and we can't take anything into the future, then at this particular time in, I'll just say, my life, I am not the person I used to be mentally or in any way, basically. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have totally changed.
Mm-hmm.
And what was like 5, 10
Mm-hmm.
years ago
Mm-hmm.
is not now, and I can't take that into the future.
Mm-hmm.
That's gone forever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually it goes.
It's
So
gone
I
forever.
Yeah.
guess the question is that like
But Buddhism never says that is another person. If you say, when you look at your childhood photo, if you say this is another person, it is not correct. It is not true. If you say that is the same person I am, it is also wrong. Buddhism doesn't say that is another person or same person.
What is it?
It's you several years ago.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Is that true? Is that right?
Yeah.
What does it
Your
say?
mind of what you used to be because you are no longer that person.
How does it?
Yeah, actually I am not reached to explain it.
Isn't life all about consciousness? Okay? It's all consciousness, right? I mean, from here until you die, it's just one consciousness that goes from moment to moment. And so this consciousness was not that consciousness. But you're saying that was me 10 years ago. But it's a whole different evolved person. But it's very complicated.
Yeah. No. I know that problem.
The circumstance.
I can explain it, but not in English. That is the reason. I am sorry. Yeah. But however, I try to say you something. You may go to the mirror in the morning, and again you go to the mirror in the evening. The picture is mostly same. You went to the mirror in the morning, and when you came here, you went to the mirror again in the evening. If you say, you can understand the morning picture and evening picture, you can understand some sort of same. If you say that morning picture and evening picture is completely same, it is wrong. If you say that morning picture and evening picture different, it is also false. It is also wrong. It has some sort of identity. Both of them have some sort of identity, but not completely same or completely different. For example, I would like to tell you some story, very nice story. It was an exhibition. In the exhibition, there were some skulls. There were some skulls in the exhibition. There, it was a very small skull, and also nearby there is a big skull. Here it is a very small one. Here is a big one. And there was a person near that exhibition. A visitor went there. That person asked, whose skull is that? The big one. That person said that this is the Socrates skull.
Lot of brains.
Yeah, this is the Socrates skull. Then that visitor asked again, who's the small one? That person said that the Socrates childhood skull.
That's not.
It is true?
No.
Never. Yeah. I got that example that if you tell, as soon as you look at your picture in the childhood, if you tell that it is me, if you say completely I am, it is not correct.
It's sort of like we have the different identities, intersectionality. Say, for instance, I'm a woman.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an Afro-American woman.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a single woman.
Mm-hmm.
But she's also a woman.
Mm-hmm.
She's a mother.
Mm-hmm.
And she works. And, the different identities
Mm-hmm.
of a woman. And say, for instance, like I'm Bo, but I was Bo as a little Bo,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm still an Afro-American woman, female, but the conditions change as I age. The identities, my identities change. I was a little girl, at one particular time I didn't work,
Yeah,
Now
identity.
my identities, I am a woman, and I have other identities.
Yeah.
Experiences.
Yeah, identity and all these things that we have experienced in this life, actually those things related to conventional truth. Conventional truth, according to Buddhism, truth is divided into two: conventional truth and ultimate truth. Conventional truth means, according to tradition, according to world traditions, we have some sort of sammatayan. We have some sort of some ideas, some teachings, some traditions in the world. Those traditions and customs differ from place to place, from tradition to tradition. It is the conventional truth. But when we are going to ultimate truth actually depend on impermanence. We have only 5 aggregates. 5 aggregates means, Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana. If we think something, if we have some sort of experience through our senses, according to ultimate truth, we have only this moment. We have only this moment. We had some sort of experience about our previous life or previous period in our life. As you mentioned, your combination with other nations, like you have some sort of combination in your life. That is the nature. We accept it. We respect it. But these things depend on conventional truth. It is not the reality. It is not the real reality.
So ultimate truth can apply to anyone, anywhere.
Yeah.
Conventional truth, that entails your different cultures, traditions, your beliefs.
Yeah, it is different from person to person too.
Person to person and location.
But finally, if we reflect our all experience in our life, we have only the present moment experience.
The present.
Yeah. Finally, we have to focus this knowledge. in the name of getting rid of suffering. This is the final truth that we have to understand. But if a person could understand this final ultimate truth, actually he doesn't give up all traditions. He respects those traditions too. Even the Lord Buddha also, he respected his culture, his relatives, his culture, and he respected. But he understood the ultimate truth and he could overcome the sufferings. If you like to overcome the suffering that you suffer in mentally, for that you have to understand the ultimate truth with the foundation of dependent origination. Then this is the this is the only thing that we have to understand to get rid of suffering. Yeah. If a person has real knowledge about the dependent origination and impermanence, always that person can understand what is happening at the present moment. Every moment our experience arises and disappears. If you think your previous activities, previous period, you memorize your own mind. You never can go to the previous experience. Yeah, you reflect your own mind. You should be intelligent. Now I think I memorize my own mind. You can get some idea about your childhood, your parents, your brothers and sisters. You can remind. When you remind those experience, you never go to real experience. At the moment you think, you remind, you memorize your own mind. That also impermanence. At the moment the mind and that thought are together and mind, then when they are together, that experience arises and suddenly it also overcomes.
At the moment they converge.
Yeah. When the reasons are together, you have some sort of experience, knowledge about your previous thing. But never you can get those things or experience, your toys, your parents, your dead brothers or sisters, you can't get. You get only experience in your mind. Yeah. Yeah. If a person can't understand this thing, that person goes to real experience, imaginary. As soon as that person goes to that situation, that person may cry or laugh. But if you are intelligent, as soon as you think that experience, if you know, now I remind my own mind, you can see all experience without desire or anger. That is the difference. Then you have overcome the suffering. As soon as you think, as soon as you remind these experiences, if you are intelligent to understand, at the moment my mind arises and again it disappears, if you can understand, you can think your experience. You can remember that experience, but you have no desire or hatred. It means you have got rid of suffering.
I have a question. We talk about arising and disappearing of all of these things that are happening, which are not related to each other, but there is a relation because we gain experience throughout, like the doorbell running to the thing, so we do build up that experience, and our thoughts today is a result of the experiences we've had in the past. So although we say we are, this is the moment, this is the dependent and rising, it's all cumulative. There's a cumulative result of the person I am, the thought that I'm having today is all related to my past experiences that are all in there, and because of that I may be a little smarter than running to the doorbell rather than the door. Right?
Yeah, you are correct. Actually, Buddhism accept it. It doesn't actually. It is true, but according to Buddhism, it is true according to conventional truth. The Lord Buddha also explained to the world his previous lives. You know, in Jataka Katha, the Lord Buddha explained his previous lives. I was born as an elephant. I was born as a king. I was born as a millionaire. He has explained his previous lives. Hundreds of lives are explained by the Buddha. But according to conventional truth, it is true. It has some sort of combination to this life too. Because of that relationship, the Lord Buddha could attain Nibbana, attain Arahanthood. If the Lord Buddha didn't develop his mind, he couldn't attain Arahantship. There is some sort of combination. But every moment, you know, දැන් කම්බයක් අපි කොහොම ගසනකොට එක වගේ පේනවනේ දිගටනේ. නමුත් you know how I explain it. Then when we light some candles, you know, the lonely we mentioned that there are 100 candles here. I light this one. Again I light from this to this one. Again and again I light all things. But when we look at this way, a person can say that the fire goes here and here and here. Yeah, we can see some sort of similar, one by one. But nothing goes from here to here. But when we look at here, we can see some sort of same thing, some sort of similarities we can see. Our previous lives and our experience also like that.
Yeah.
We can see some sort of change. We can see some sort of relationship. But every moment in previous life or this life, again and again our mind and our this experience arises, disappear. Again and again, it happens. Then we can see some sort of similar, but it is not the same thing.
No, it's not the same thing.
What I think, what I was understanding from her, it is sort of cumulative, because say, for instance, if you go and stick your hand in the fire and you burn your hand, then the next time when you go to the fire, you know not to stick your hand in it because of past experiences. You've learned not to do that because you'll get burned.
That's what the conventional
not especially, you know, then again and again we cultivate our mind. Now, if we have some sort of experience at this moment, actually this is the result of our previous experience, previous activities.
So there is a connection.
Yeah, there is some connection. Buddhism doesn't reject it. There is some sort of connection. But every moment, every situation arising, disappearing, that is situation.
Is independent.
Yeah, independently. That occurs.
But when you're dealing with people in relationships, if you've been exposed to some type of negative or bad experience, then it will make you sort of hesitant. It will make me hesitant to interact with that particular person again. if it has happened more than once, because I would think, well, I'm going to get more of the same, and I don't want more of the same, and more of the same is all negative, you know. So therefore, I couldn't trust a person who had bad behavior or a polluted mind, because until that person gets it together, like you said, it's not for me to burn myself out trying to get someone else together mentally, because I might not ever be able to do that. I might not even have the knowledge or the experience or the expertise to get another individual together with a polluted mind where they wouldn't do bad things or have bad behavior. So sometimes it's best to, as they say here in the States, cut them loose, you know, disassociate yourself with that particular person, you know, and just go on your merry way.
Yeah. The main thing is the suffering or happiness depend on our own mind. Even though other people had bad experience, that is their job. If we pollute our mind seeing those incidents, it is our own. It is our fault. Even though other people have mistakes, we should understand if he does something, it is his job. The result will come to him. If I pollute my mind through those activities, it is my fault. Then always we should be intelligent to keep our mind in present. If our mind is polluted, the results come to us.
But shouldn't you disassociate yourself with people like that?
Yeah, we have to associate sometimes.
Yeah.
It is the nature of the life. Yeah, when we live in the society, we have to associate some people. When you do a job, at sometimes even though you don't like that person, you have to meet them.
Yes, you do.
But we should understand the situation. If that person had mistake, if we can, we try to correct him. Again and again we should try to do it. But on the other hand, we should understand
with their weakness.
Yeah, weakness, and also if I pollute my mind, I have this result. Then actually it is very important. Yeah, it is hard. It is hard.
You are dealing with a person which is going to work, like you say, you have somebody that giving all the time
bad behavior.
Your mind
It will make you
there are many techniques. There are many techniques in Buddhism how we control our own mind when we have some problems, when we are in the society. Actually, that is the nature of the society. We should understand it. Then why we listening to this message? To be strong our mind. If we have real knowledge, we can face those problems without defilement. That is why we listen to this message. Then again and again we listen in this message, and if we are strong with our mind, with pure mind, we can face those problems, and not only facing, but also we can control some sort of things because of our spirituality.
Because so many people have such bad behavior.
Yeah, that is the nature of the... Actually, little by little, I try to explain some. There are very important topics and very important techniques and teachings in Buddhism. In one side, I practice. On the other hand, I listen and I read some doctrines. And on the other hand, I go to the classes to learn English too.
You're doing wonderful.
Before we had talked to, can I say? We had, just going back to the Dhammapada, we had done something talked about stanza 3 and 4. And those just remind me about what she's saying. And I don't know, I took some notes here. What it says is, he abused me, he struck me, he overpowered me. Those who harbor such thoughts do not still their hatred. And then, my notes were just, we need to still hatred. First, we need to clear our minds and find forgiveness. We can talk to them compassionately and educate them. Then we have to be thankful for them for showing us who we don't want to be, the difficult person. By forgiving, we never lose, we gain. So,
actually. Actually, there are many techniques, many teachings, many steps, not only one. If we have enough knowledge, we can practice it. The main thing is the knowledge. Knowledge is very, very important.
So we don't want to.
According to Buddhism, as we mentioned, we have 3 steps. The first thing is Suttamaya Panya, it means knowledge. The second thing is not only knowledge but also reflecting. Wise reflection. Again and again you have to think this reality. And also third one is the Bhavanamaya Panya. It means doing meditation, we should cultivate our mind. Mostly we believe in knowledge. We should not have not only knowledge, but also we have to cultivate, practice another 2 steps too. For the real answer.
I know someone who had the behavior of a liar, a total liar. I mean, they don't tell the truth. And consistently, a person like that, what do you do with a person when they say something and it's not true? I mean, you can tell it's not true because they don't do what they say they're gonna do. So what do you do with a person like that?
I would cut that person loose.
This is what I was saying. Sometimes you have to cut them loose or just...
I mean, you try, and if not, to let them go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes...
Because you don't want to pollute your mind.
You have a polluted mind. You have to cut some people loose. Have to.
Even Buddha also has lost some people who can be corrected.
So in other words, Buddha saying, do not do it
Do not associate with them.
It has another meaning.
It
has another deep meaning.
Superficially meaning is that you can avoid them.
Avoid means that only
What does that mean?
Asevanacha Balana means there are some people who are strongly worse.
So
Those people, we have to lose them.
That's what it is.
There are some persons like our children, like our close relatives, although they have some mistakes, we can give up them. Then we have to try again and again.
Absolutely.
But a stranger.
Let them go.
For a stranger, there is no connection. You can.
Because if you try to do that, you will pollute yourself. So there's some point you gotta let them go.
But here in the West society, if a person has mistake, if your wife or husband has a lot of mistakes, suddenly you are going to divorce that person. Actually, but in our tradition,
Eastern culture is different.
it is completely different.
Oh, you have to
Again and again, we try to correct.
In American culture, it used to be that way too. The divorce rate was much lower. So it's a different time.
But in your culture, you just tolerate each other?
No, we try to teach it first, and then we just kind of say, hey, tag along.
I mean, you don't get a divorce?
No, we try not
Less than
to.
here. Very much.
Because you don't
Very
know
rare.
which person will be worse.
Even the
Yeah, like she said before, people used to just stick, with each other. Like, say, when my mother and father, they were...
We are patient in the name of
54
children.
years.
Especially we are patient in the name of children.
Children.
Like my
Although we have problems.
It was 54 years before she died. And today, if people don't do right in a year and 2 years, 3 days,
I think people are very selfish.
Increase the divorces, what's happened, the society become, the young children growing up, they don't have parents and they don't get any good things for their life from parents.
It's really
Is the Dalai Lama enlightened?
He is growing up. He's
He's
still
the
growing.
stream mentor. You don't
I
know,
think
right?
still he is cultivating his mind. Yeah.
So when you say you just stick it out,
Try to work it out as much and then as you get older, like you say, you're doing that, and then you mind your own business, right? You're not together all the time, like, no? Togetherness.
We live alongside.
Yeah.
You find different interests.
and all that thing with the time.
But you still have a lot of
Still
respect
together,
for
respect for each other, and you have more understanding about life then. So you sometimes the problem that you had at younger age together, you look at it in different angles.
yeah, you look at it differently.
So things can be more peaceful.
When you're older, you don't sweat the small stuff.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, let's see again these things that we discussed. You can remember the bottom line of life, and don't forget your best friend too, awareness. And especially you have to remember the mirror, the three things in mirror. Yeah. 5 fingers, your 5 fingers, and brain, knowledge, heart, enemies, friends, mirror of Dhamma. It's more important. Gradually, those 3 things should be increased day by day. If you are on the real way of happiness, those 3 things should be increased day by day. And spirit of Buddhism is the dependent origination. It is not easy to understand. Again and again we have to listen in, and we have to think it, we have to reflect it, and this is the main thing. Finally we have to understand the spirit of Buddhism. Actually this is not spirit of Buddhism, this is spirit of world reality that we have to understand to get rid of suffering. This is the real way to become happiness. And also these 4 things, end of this note, also very important. Try to cultivate, develop those 4 things to associating with a good friend and listening to the Buddha's message through that person, and wise reflection or wise investigation, and practice as meditation, concentration meditation and insight meditation. This is the summary that today we discussed. I think these all things are very important for your life, and I wish you all the best and happiness. Thank you so much for your coming. Let's now transfer all merits that now we accumulated in this moment. Our beloved departed relatives, may they receive this merit and may they attain good life, and finally may they attain final bliss of liberation. With that intention, let's we recite the special stanza in Buddhism. Idam me ñāti nang hotu sukhita hontu ñātayo. Idam me ñāti nang hotu sukhita hontu. Idam me ñāti nang hotu sukhita hontu ñātayo. Let's transfer all merits that we accumulated this moment to the divine persons, angels, and receiving these merits, may they keep on their eye to you too, and may they protect you. And with that intention, let's we transfer all merits to divine persons. Yatthavata ca amhehi sambhatang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhiya. Yatthavata ca amhehi sambhatang punya sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhiya. Okay, I wish you all the best and be well, happy and peaceful. Thank you for your coming. Okay, I appreciate you.
Well, I have a question. Now, in Sri Lanka or even...